Alrighty. Apologies in advance, stream. We do not have audio, but we have my voice, so I suppose that's better than nothing. So right now, we have Mr. Schmitty and Mr. Baba Kanoosh queuing up for our open split number 2. It's a 0-bid split, so the way the Fortnite competition works is over the course of 3 days. So this Sunday, also this Saturday and next Sunday, us and players from various other different universities will play in 4 matches a day for a total of 12 matches, and you'll earn points based off placement and for every elimination that you get in game, with the top cutoff players making the finals in a couple of weeks. So we'll be playing against various other schools from different universities across the board. A couple other schools, have multiple teams competing. So right now the lobby's pretty small. Only 35 players are currently queued. Compared to the 60 or 65 or so that, it normally would be. So you're just going to try and do the best to get some good placement points here and have some good performance so we can get into the finals. So, Hadi Kanoosh, go Caden and Dylan. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Dylan Hager. Baba Kanoosh is filling for Purple Panda today. He had a conflict with work, so he won't be here today. But Mr. Baba Kanoosh has graciously accepted the invitation to fill the roster spot. So I think the boys are pretty confident. I think that they're looking to have a lot of fun today. So that's the important thing. And yeah. We'll just chill for another 2 minutes. Lobby's supposed to start at 2:10 p.m. sharp, which is right now, actually. So we'll be getting started very, very shortly. And just bear with me as I am kind of running things between keeping up with competition announcements and running the stream. So if I dip for a minute or two at any point, just kind of bear with me. And again, apologies for no game audio. And you guys just listening to my voice. So I will be back shortly for the start of game 1. Alrighty, so here we are. Again, apologies for no game audio. We have a 39 player lobby. UJ hopping in to the first of 4 lobbies on the day. Choosing a drop location. Well off the path of the battle bus here. Schmitty and Baba Kanoosh gonna do their best to get some well-earned placement points here. A few different eliminations. Both players, I believe, playing on controller. May not be the case. So I'll do my best to switch between each perspective here. Players opting for a bit of a remote location here as far as a drop is concerned. So there's a couple different ways that you could approach strategy coming with Fortnite here. So either you can go for more of a hot drop and play for eliminations, or you can try to take something off the beaten path, get a lot of nice loot, and try to avoid those early game engagements. See a team landing to the north of UJ here. They may be landing in the same location. You see both Schmitty and Baba Kanoosh doing a good job of kind of just scanning the area at the initial part of their drop here, just to make sure that, you know, you want to always have an idea of what your surroundings are like here. So good understanding that there is a team slightly to the northwest of them. So they'll do their best here to grab some loot here. Pretty slim pickings so far. A couple SMGs here for Schmitty. Baba Kanoosh running around as well. Also, a big priority of finding nice, good health. Finding a lot of shields in the early game, also very important. Shield keg picked up here. So Baba Kanoosh and Schmitty will both be able to sit inside this little ring here, get some well-earned shields. Especially with it being 0 build, you'll notice that the 50 additional shield recharges automatically. So both players have access to almost 250 health after this. Just not having the ability to cover yourself with the builds. You know, Fortnite deemed it necessary to, you know, give the players a little bit more HP, which I think is a really good idea, you know, especially when you can't cover yourself and that sort of thing too. You have to be much more strategic with your placement and you know, holding corners or holding the areas that you're in. So not fantastic loot here for Schmitty, but 150 shield nonetheless, so they got that working for them. Switching on over to Baba Kanoosh here. I'm going to move my cursor off the screen so you guys don't get annoyed with me here. But quite a decent loadout so far. Green AR, nice blue shotgun, a little bit of healing with those chug splashes there, and a sniper as well. So both players, you know, decent loot, could be better, but nonetheless, I've avoided a lot of these early game engagements. So players kind of just chilling here. You see the radar popping up above them. That team to the northwest still in their general vicinity here. EJ said that their strategy for today was to play nice, slow, and methodical, play for placement. You see, of the 39 players that joined the lobby, just one of them having been eliminated so far. Normally, these lobbies approach 100 players. So with there only being 38 to start, there's not going to be a whole lot of action. I think at least for the first storm circle or two. But after that, you know, things will start picking up a lot. You see just off the beacon up there, you see Schmitty has located an enemy. Baba Kanoosh holding the top of this hill here next to this rock, using it as natural cover. Kind of biding their time, waiting to see what this team to the west of them is trying to do. It appears that they're trying to just rotate for the storm, so UJ might look for an engagement here. It appears they may be seeing another team as well. Holding this corner here with the sniper. Kick it back on over to Schmitty, who is using this lower side of the rock as cover. Both players a little bit split right now, so Schmitty's going to try and close the distance between him and his teammate. Traditionally, in traditional build games, you want to keep the distance between you and your duo relatively short, but with it being zero build, keeping a little bit of that anonymity. Am I saying that right? But basically, keeping your position a little bit more of a secret is generally better. So, UJ finding a player here. 2 players, actually. They're just really playing this patient. They don't want to give away their position. Looks like this team's going to be rotating straight up to them. Both players using a shockwave grenade. Oh, no, actually just using a jump pad. So UJ getting into a choice engagement here. Big damage onto 1. Shield cracked, knocked, Lost God 17 there. Both Baba Kanoosh and Schmitty still up. Relatively healthy shield, trying to secure an elimination here. UJ, a part of the first engagement on this map here. And it looks like both members of this duo, at least one of them, gone, and a convenient jump pad left to try and avoid the end of the storm surge here. So good first engagement there for UJ. Bit of a long way to go, though. Schmitty opting for the long way around this mountainside. He does have a med kit, however, dropping down a second jump pad for him and his teammate. Appears to be waiting. Again, not great loot here for Schmitty, but good first engagement for sure. Baba Kanoosh sliding down. Long way to go for the Jimmies here. Fortnite adding the ability to sprint in to this game, so it's easier to outrun storm surges. It does pick up some much needed healing as well, both Baba Kanoosh and Schmitty. Very little danger here. Looks like they have another jump pad, or perhaps not. But pretty little danger. Oh, a llama has appeared. Unfortunately, UJ is not going to have a whole lot of time to really pick through that. So as I was saying, first storm surge only dealing 1 tick of damage each second. So not a whole lot of danger associated with being inside the zone here, but you're just going to want to get out of this relatively soon. A lot of teams like to use a strategy where they kind of gatekeep the outside of the zone after the first rotation here. So hopefully there's nobody lying in wait for the Jimmies. He's going to pop into this bush here, recover back up to 100%. Medkit drop down for Baba Kanoosh. So UJ is going to top off. Only 200 shield apiece, but again, good first engagement for them. And now they're going to look to play this relatively slow. Just camping in this bush here. You see shots off to the right side. Herald Sanctum. And a tornado can be used as kind of a pseudo launch pad for the Jimmies to get into the next area. Oh, they see a player who appears to be on his own in front. Schmitty with an aggressive push here. Player up off the hill to the side. Baba Kanoosh and Schmitty kind of looking. Oh, he appears to be going for maybe a reboot here. Both players will have an angle on him, though. He's unable to stick it. Shield ripped off of Schmitty here. He's going to aggressively push this, and Baba Kanoosh is going to take him out. Lots of good loot for Schmitty also to pick through. Jimmy's trying to get maybe an early rotation here. A couple of minis picked up for Schmitty here. So UJ, again, with a very, very good start. They're going to ride this tornado to the very top. Lots of good ability to pick and choose just about any place they want to now for a good rotation. Actually, the Jimmies might just kind of sit on top here for a little bit, wait for this rotation to come in. There's very little danger associated with being at the top here. So again, Jimmy's solid start. 2 eliminations. 27 players remaining. About a fourth of the lobby already gone. see a team rifting behind kind of has the same idea as you, Jay. We might see just a nice little casual interaction between members of another team with a general understanding that, you know what, we're just gonna chill here. Fortnite never ceases to amaze me, even in the spirit of competition. So UJ alongside this other duo here appears to be looking for a place to land now. This other team may jump on them for an engagement very shortly. It appears that they are following relatively slowly here, but UJ's going to have the first drop here. There's a team just beneath them as well. UJ looking to get on top of this balloon here. Marshmallow in front. And Schmitty is going to go down. Unfortunate engagement there with two different teams. So Baba Kanush really needs to be careful about the way that he wants to approach this. Gonna look to hopefully pick up the reboot card. May just look to kind of camp this area here. Again, you want to play for placement in this situation, but you also want your teammate with you. So Baba Kanush, pretty advantageous position to kind of just sit here and maybe wait to see if the rest of the lobby kind of diminishes in the meantime. Golden Sniper, only a gray IR though. See a team running to zone. Just going to watch them for now. $250 HP for Baba Kanush. Schmitty's reboot card, about a quarter of the way through. Plenty of time to maybe pick him up. With this team underneath him, going to pose a bit of a challenge for Baba Kanush if he wants to get Schmitty back into this game. Oh, and a big headshot, and that's an elimination for Baba Kanush there. So another point picked up for UJ. That player tried to sit still, thought he was safe. Oh, and he's going to take the L on him too. Very, very unfortunate for that player. Another player dropping in. Looks like these two players. It appears that Baba Kanush's position right now is relatively safe for him. Hunting Kanush, how many games did they play? So they play 4 games on any given day of competition. So they have from 2 p.m. till 6 p.m. So, you know, we thought that maybe games would run on the hour, but the way that it works is after running this game, at the conclusion of this game, there will be a 5-minute break, and then they'll queue into the next game. So it's on a rolling schedule, 4 different games. I would anticipate it takes like roughly an hour and a half to 2 hours to probably play through all of them. But that is the plan for the day. So unfortunately, it looks like Baba Kanush is not going to be able to pick up his teammate. He's going to have to play the rest of this game solo, but does pick up a nice elimination on that solo player there. And UJ sitting with 3 eliminations, 23 players remaining. Baba Kanush trying to find a good area to land where he can kind of get himself out of the action for a while. With him only being by himself now, it's going to be a bit challenging for him to kind of play through this. Obviously, not having a teammate to participate with you, and a team on the high ground is looking directly at him. Baba Kanush not in a very advantageous position. He's going to make a run for it here. Going to use the side of this hill for cover. Again, with it being no build, it's pretty tricky to find some of that natural cover when you'd obviously be able to build. So Baba Kanush going to pop an extra mini here. Get some of that HP back. He has 5 to spare, so he's going to use the side of this hill, try and gather himself. Oh, and that shot just barely not connecting with that player on top of the high ground there. He's going to have to move slightly here to get in zone. A bit of a precarious position for him to be in at this moment. Kind of down in the low ground, not a super great place for cover-wise, but does have kind of this alley to work back and forth between. A good rotation for him is probably out into the right side and up to the hill on the right. Baba Kanush holding this corner here. Zone is directly in front of him, so that right side hill might be a perfect position for him. If he can roll up the back side of it and take that high ground on the right side, he might have a solid chance. And it appears that that is what he's going to go for here. Maybe going to collect himself in this bush here. Down in the low ground. Obviously doesn't want to be here. He's just going to hide in the bush. Does get tagged, though. Down to 2 HP. A player directly in front of him had the same idea. And UJ is going to take 12th place here. Unfortunate, but I believe, you know, that's going to get them a couple of different placement points. And they'll be sitting in a good position. Decent start. Unfortunate that Schmitty went down, like, relatively early. So, UJ, decent start, looking to improve for game 2. We'll kick it to a short break, and we'll be back in a jiffy with the start of game number 2. All right, everybody, and welcome back. We're just about ready to get started for the second match here. Players are queuing up for the lobby, so we'll be back with game number 2 very shortly. All right, it looks like we're going to jump right on into game number 2 here. Schmitty and Baba Knish earned 9 points in the first game, 6 for a 12th place finish, and then 3 extra points for 3 eliminations. So they'll be looking to improve their performance here. Looks like they've picked another remote area kind of off the path of the bus for their drop. Want to prioritize getting some of that early loot and avoiding those early engagements so they can put themselves in a pretty good position moving forward. So looks like so far that their drop's going to be relatively uncontested. A couple players underneath them. Looks like those players are going to be landing kind of in the same area. It actually looks like this area is going to be relatively contested. So UJ is going to kind of dip backwards here. And they're going to try to find a more remote location. Looks like they're going to land in Greasy Grove here. You can see a number of different teams kind of landing at that initial drop spot. So UJ kind of choosing to call a little bit of an audible here and make their way down. They can see that there's a few different opportunities here, a couple different houses for them to loot. Schmitty not finding a gun here. And he's going to get stuck there. Unfortunately, he's going to go down to 48 HP right away. Still looking for something. Finds a chest there. A couple different shields. UJ in a very early engagement here. Oh, and Baba Kanish is going to drop down, and UJ unfortunately is going to get the bad end of an early game engagement here. Calling that audible on that drop and then not finding a whole lot of really useful loot there right away is gonna really gonna punish them for it. So unfortunate for UJ, they're going to have to sit this one out for a while before game 3. I guess we will be back in a jiffy. We'll be back in roughly about 20 minutes or so. All right, hello everyone, and welcome back. We're just getting ready to queue into game number 3 here. It's going to be about 3 more minutes. I had to sneeze, so I had to. Ooh, man, that was tough. Anyway, we are, like I said, just about getting ready to hop into game number 3 here. We will be back in about 2 seconds for the start of that match. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Looks like we had a little bit of a problem with the last lobby connecting to a server. So, new lobby code. So, we'll be waiting another minute or two before we get match 3 started here. Hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you for joining us for our first Fortnite competition of the year. We'll be back again on Saturday, same time, same place, and also next Sunday for this as well. So, we'll be looking forward to that. Should be a good time. Also, we have a week full of some really, really great competition. It's probably our biggest and busiest week of the semester for sure. Let me just pull it up real quick here so I know exactly. So, today we're running Zero Split number 1 for Fortnite. We have 2 games left for that. Tomorrow, the Rocket League team will take on Texas A&M International University at 6 p.m. Rocket League team's currently sitting at 2-1, so they're going to look to bounce back from their loss from Manchester last week. On Tuesday at 7:30, UJ will be taking on Drexel University in Overwatch 2, so stay tuned for that. On Wednesday, we will have Call of Duty versus Kaiser University Lakeland at 6 p.m., followed by Valorant against Boise State University at 7:30. On Thursday, we have Smash against Boise State University at 7:30 p.m., and also Overwatch against the University of Cincinnati at 6 p.m. And then that following Saturday, we will have Zero Build Split number 2 for Fortnite starting at 2 p.m. on that Saturday. So, week chock full of competition this week, and then next week's going to be our last week of regular scheduled competition for our regular season, and then we'll move into playoff brackets and stuff after that. So, it's going to be a fun last couple of weeks here before we close out the rest of our fall season. So, we'll be back with the match in 2 seconds here. All right, everybody. As if the technical difficulties weren't good enough, it appears that Epic and their servers with their custom lobbies right now are having a bit of trouble. So things are being increasingly difficult. It appears that Nace is resetting the lobby, and we will be getting a third code, and we'll be into the game as shortly as possible. So we appreciate you guys sticking around and sticking with us. Appreciate your patience as always, and we'll be back in a second. All right, it appears that we have finally progressed through our technical difficulties, and we are just about to get started and load into game number 3. UJ, disappointing finish for their last match. Was kind of eliminated right off spawn, so they're going to look to respond here in game number 3. Again, we appreciate you guys and your patience and sticking around with us today. Let's get into game number 3. So it looks like UJ opting for a more central location. I talked to him a little bit after the second game. It seems that other teams are kind of prioritizing drops that are a little bit further away from the bus path. So looks like they're going to try and pick a remote location that's relatively close and see if they get contested here. We see one team vaguely off to the right side here. Baba Kanush still up in the air. Schmitty landing nice and low here. He's going to have some company behind him. Looks like he's going to make a break for this smaller area down here. UJ with another tough instance here on the break. He's able to pick up a lot of good loot, though. There are some minis underneath Schmitty. I'm not sure if he knows. Or I believe I saw some. But purple SMG right off the bat. Does have a shotgun. Probably not the best option, but looks like UJ Safe for the time being, but is getting shot by an opposing team. They're just going to drop into the water here and try to vacate the area. Baba Ganoush backing off to the left side. Schmitty getting a tag on the opposing player just there. Baba Ganoush, no extra shield sitting on top here. Looks like UJ is going to make use of the warp here with the porta potty. Give themselves a little bit of breathing room here. Chug Splash is coming out from Baba Ganoush. UJ is going to have access to a little bit more healing here. And it appears a shield keg as well. I'm going to take a bite of my pizza. Opposing team on the far side of the lake. Not sure if they know where UJ is, but I think Jimmy's wise decision here. They're just going to back off, try and find some more loot, and avoid this early engagement. Don't have the best positioning in the world to fight this, so they're going to prioritize just kind of moving on and looting a little bit more, trying to settle themselves a little bit. Looks like the opposing team is going to try and make a push here back in the backside of that tree. Couple rips on the shield. Baba Ganoush getting pot shots. Schmitty popping into the car. He's going to pick up his teammate and is actually going to hit him. He's going to hit him again. Is this a strategy? I don't think I've ever seen this before. Jimmy's still being pursued by this team behind them, trying to find a little bit of breathing room so they can get themselves situated here. A couple of mushrooms here can top off some shields. Different SMG prioritized for Schmitty there. Big pot drop for Baba Ganoush. Rocket launcher picked up by Schmitty. I feel like rockets in zero build are much more effective, just simply due to the fact that, like, in traditional build, you have the ability to protect yourself. But in this game mode, obviously, natural cover only offers you so much room between you and your opponent. So a well-placed rocket could really do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, only one shot for Schmitty here, so he's going to have to make it count. But obviously, opportunity to pick up some more ammo along the way, and those could be really, really solid as we transition into late game here pretty soon. UJ going to make use of the bush here. Both players with a rocket launcher. You thought bush camping was a thing of the past. UJ, more or less using this as an ability to kind of catch their breath a little bit. Decided to push out from center circle towards the edge of the zone. Might be able to catch some teams rotating in from the south side here. So we'll see if UJ is able to pick off a few stragglers. Maybe a few teams that got into like some previous engagements that aren't at full health. I think camping the edge of the zone is actually a really good strategy in competitive. You know, once you have your positioning and you're solidified there, it works really well to your advantage. But with them being in this bush here, they're very, very open to any outside threat. So if one of them gives away their position, you know, a well-placed rocket from another team might do a lot of damage, or, you know, just some spray into that bush could do a lot as well. So UJ just going to chill here for a second, kind of observe their surroundings. Might see an enemy team rotating in, or just kind of waiting in this area here. Playing for those placement points. And here we can see kind of the big difference between traditional builds and zero builds, obviously. I feel like in traditional build, you really want to kind of sit and tunnel yourselves or pop yourselves into a tower and just kind of sit until you make like a very informed rotation eventually. But in zero build, obviously, you don't have the ability to protect yourself that way. So you have to find that natural cover and kind of a natural area for you to sit in. So UJ has decided to use this bush as their saving grace for the moment. Checking out the map a little bit. I think the plan here for UJ is just to kind of sit until the zone comes in and then kind of just wait to see where the next storm circle is. And then you can either make the decision if you want to make an early rotate and kind of catch people on the backside as well, or if you want to make like a late rotation in to kind of allow everyone to get in front of you. And then you might be able to pick off some others towards the end. We see there may be some opponents to UJ's west here. Both players kind of navigating around. One's coming straight up here. And UJ's going to jump on these two. Oh, but there is two. We use the tree for some natural cover here. Rocket launcher's going to come out. Nice shot by Schmitty there. He's going to get 100 tag on one. Shots not finding their mark here. Lots of fire coming out. Baba Kanush on the defensive here. UJ hightailing and running best they can. No more rockets for Schmitty. It looks like the opposing team is not going to really push the issue here. UJ picked that engagement. Nothing too crazy. Schmitty's going to be able to heal himself out of this danger zone here. And the next storm circle is now up. So it looks like UJ is just going to use this as an opportunity to get an early rotation. I'm going to pick up a bounty perhaps. Big pot conveniently there, as well as a chest. So UJ is going to escape that altercation with that opposing team there. The flopper is... it's flopping, all right. So... Schmitty and Baba Kanush, again, using the bushes to their advantage. Couldn't quite get the element of surprise on that team rotating in. But fortunately, both UJ players going to escape with their lives here. And they're going to move into the top 30. Trying to collect himself, just kind of sitting. Maybe shaking out the hands a little bit. Got to use these moments as kind of an opportunity for you to really just kind of take a break. Calm the nerves a little bit. Quite a long distance for UJ to travel to get to zone here. Looks like they're going to start moving together now. The truck off to the side. Probably useful to pick up a vehicle here. Wolf guarding these mushrooms. And it appears Schmitty has tamed the beast. Gonna pick up some extra shield shots to the west, though. Team holding that high ground just above. Schmitty might have an angle here. Oh, big tags onto that soccer skin right there. Schmitty with the scope. They are able to fire into that bush. Unfortunately, that rocket not available. Both players in a precarious position with this team is split push. It looks like UJ is going to prioritize going after this player by the tree here. Going to use the cover again. Get some nice tags. There's a big knock there. Trying to finish. Spray by Schmitty. UJ is going to pick up an extra point there for that elimination. And not sure if that player's duo is going to force the issue here. Probably just looking for a rotation. Both players in kind of a precarious spot. And you see 6 rockets now picked up for Schmitty. Player to their southwest. They might be able to pull some tags here. Kind of in an interesting scenario now, where the teams are rotating but trying to get some pot shots as well. You see Baba Kanush a little bit further behind. Gonna get some of that spray. should be able to make it out relatively okay here. UJ trying to pull themselves into the top 20 here. Much better showing than game 2. Oh, but a player off to the right side for Baba Kanush. He might be able to get a shot on this guy. Oh, he does tag him for 100, though, and Schmitty does finish him off, so great pick off there for UJ. In the storm circle, though. Does need to move. Going to pick up some of this extra loot. A couple of chug splashes there, I believe, as well. So UJ is going to pull themselves out of the storm here. They're not going to be in a great position as far as their HP. However, UJ picking up a couple points. 2 eliminations. Top 20 now. Chug splash is coming out. Players on top of this hill here. So UJ is going to try and make themselves... or make it around this hill a little bit. Players coming in. Going to use this rock for cover. Split push. Baba Kanush all alone. Looks like they're going to follow. Big explosions coming onto the player here. And Baba Kanush is going to be, again, up alone here. Push between 2 teams in a really difficult spot. And unfortunately for UJ, that's just going to be not a favorable position for them to be in. So... excuse me, UJ's going to place 13th in this one with 2 eliminations. So I believe that's going to be an extra 6 points or so for them. So decent position as well. They're going to have a really solid game 4 if they want to put themselves in a pretty good spot as far as point totals moving into next Saturday and next Sunday as well. So that's game number 3. We will be right back with game number 4 in a little bit. Thanks for watching. All right, so we are finally hopping into game number 4 of the NSL League Spot, Nice Star League. Open split number 2, the zero build competition game number 4. Final game of the afternoon for the Jimmies and for the competition. Let's see what the drop spot's going to be. Looks like they're going to drop Barn this time around, 1,500 meters away. Nice drop off the beaten path for the Jimmies. Once again, Schmitty, Bob Kanush, 12th and 13th place finishes today. Game number 2 unfortunately killed off the drop. So looking to have a solid finish in game number 4 here. Earn themselves nice points moving forward into the last 2 days of competition next weekend to hopefully put themselves in through the finals. So game number 4 here, Jimmy's really going to prioritize those placement points. Going to play a nice, slow, methodical game. Jimmy's trying to explore their options as far as their drop here. Doesn't appear that anyone is going with them, but we do see a player off to the right side just now. Looks like the Jimmies are going to go for this high ground on top. Very wise decision, I think. Baba Kanush and Schmitty landing together. Schmitty dropping all the way down to the ground. Going to pick himself up an AR here. And it looks like an explosive goo gun as well, which has proved to be a pretty good weapon for the majority of the teams rolling through the competition. It has a pretty deceptive range on it, pretty good area of effect as well. A couple different options here for Schmitty to pick up. Looks like he's going to hang on to the goo gun, which I think is a really smart decision. Only a gray shotgun, though. So him and Bob Kanush picks up a big pot here. I'm going to take a step inside the door. There's a couple minis up above. Looks like Schmitty is going to pop this big pot anyway. He's probably going to hold on to those for later. Going to pick up that green SMG. So we know of at least one other team here with UJ at the moment. Couple different items picked up for the Jimmies. I was talking to them a bit before the match. We're really going to prioritize one player kind of carrying the heals for the group, and one player kind of carrying more of the, movement-based tech. So you see Schmitty having the jump pad here, which used to be a trap in the game, but now has been converted to an actual weapon slot. So I think it's a pretty interesting tech to put in here. Obviously, traps, not a huge part of the game anymore. So the Jimmies looking for a way to get this round started here. Let's pop on in with Baba Kanush here. Looks like he's got a grappling gun, shotgun, and an AR here. Does not have, I believe, the keys to make his way into this. But Jimmy's going to take the high ground, kind of explore their surroundings just a little bit. Again, have to be very cognizant of your surroundings here. Jimmy's going to hold this high ground, have plenty of view of the downside here. Schmitty in the gritty. It's like that team that landed with UJ doesn't appear to be in sight anywhere at the moment. Fantastic field of view for the Jimmies right now. Looks like they're just going to chill on top of this balloon for the time being. Plenty of mobility to get themselves down if they need. Looks like they are going to rotate back on into Flutterbarn here. Now that it appears the coast is relatively clear, they can probably loot the rest of the area pretty free from having any threat. Minis there, pinged by Schmitty. I think Baba Kanush will be the one to carry those. It's picking up ammunition. Methodical gameplay so far. Chug splashes there as well. Baba Kanush might hang on to those as well. Chug splashes, very fast heal option. Obviously super good if you're in a fight with somebody. You don't have to take that extra 5 seconds to really get that healing off. So a couple of rockets picked up as well. Hopefully the Jimmies might find their way into a rocket launcher later on. Heals laying around. Not sure if Baba Ganoush has the ability to carry all of it. Another launch pad. Picked up for Schmitty. So plenty of movement options now for the Jimmies. It's going to use one of them here. And make his way on over to this previous area. Jimmy's going to go back for this high ground, kind of reevaluate the situation. So very, very slow start to this game. 34 players remaining out of the possible 40, I believe, that the lobby started with. So Jimmy's really looking to capitalize on a good position here. Unfortunately, can't break into the vault and get some of the loot inside. Oh, wait. It appears they can. So Baba Ganoush must have picked up a key somewhere. So the Jimmies are going to get full shields and plenty of amazing, amazing stuff in here. So their pick of the litter. Everything's purple. Rocket launcher as well. More ammunition here. Both players deciding kind of what is the most effective way for them to utilize what's all in their kit. Purple Cobra DMR picked up for Schmitty there. Looks like that's all he's going to take. The Rockets are going to find a way to stay in there. I'm not sure about that decision, but Jimmy's obviously know what they're doing. Just going to retake this high ground. Plenty of range for the Jimmies here. Share some of that AR ammunition. Still, no other teams appear to be in sight. Very slow-paced game number 4 here for the Jimmies. Do like the patience. Don't want to overcommit to anything. Switching on over to Baba Ganoush here. Observing the area, not finding anything. It appears the Jimmies are kind of alone in this general area here. Storm coming in. They may want to rotate down into Rocky Reels, but a player spotted about 200 meters away for the Jimmies. Looks like he appears to be alone at the moment, but you never know with the way that teams are split up in this situation. 31 players remaining for the Jimmies. Pretty small circle, not far to go at all, and plus having the option to glide into wherever they need to go. Pretty solid option for the Jimmies. So they're probably just going to look to keep this high ground as long as they can, keeping an eye on that team just to their, I want to say to their southeast. Trying to look for a potential spot. Tilted Towers, Greasy Grove, both potential options for this final late game here. Jimmy's trying to decide which direction is the best to go. Not sure if they want to wait super long or if they want to prioritize an early rotation as well. If they wait super long, they might find themselves gliding into enemy teams, gatekeeping that outside part of the zone. So I think maybe taking an early rotation here is probably a little bit better. But obviously, Jimmy's don't want to give up this advantageous spot that they've been given. 27 players remaining now. Jimmy's trying to find their way into the top 12 again. A couple of VR fish sticks just chilling on top of an air balloon. Still watching Flutterbarn. Doesn't appear to be any action down there. Nobody underneath as well. Looks like there could be somebody hiding behind that rock there. Jimmy's just holding space. Excuse me. Let's check back in with Mr. Schmitty here. Couple of stragglers moving off. It looks like the Jimmies are kind of just going to let them go, though. That might be a team that they'll have to pay attention to as the storm surge comes in, though. With them moving into that western direction there, I think the Jimmies will probably prioritize trying to get in on the left side of them, or they might just go north towards Tilted Towers. We'll see what the decision is here. I think they're probably just going to hold out until the storm is very, very close to them and make their rotation after here. Trying to find if anyone's coming in with the storm. Shots to the north. Baba Kanush goes over to investigate. Schmitty's still holding this area. It doesn't appear that anyone's rotating in behind them. Still 27 players remaining. No one really in sight at the moment. And now the Jimmies will be on the move. Looks like they are going to take the path where they're going to rotate around the south side of the storm here. Potentially trying to avoid that team, maybe rotating in on their northwest side. Looks like they're going to go for maybe the shack on the left side here. Try and take space on top of the mushrooms, potentially into Greasy. Doesn't appear that anyone is underneath them at the moment. Schmitty surveying the area. Looks like UJ might make another play for like another one of these balloons here, actually. Maybe just prioritizing the high ground by the mushrooms there. In a vulnerable position for the time being. I like this decision to rotate around the backside of the zone. You really don't want to draw too much attention to yourself moving in here. So, good decision by the Jimmies here. Doesn't look like anyone is inhabiting a balloon there. A couple of parasailers coming in. They don't know that they're there just yet, though. Jimmy's probably just going to use this natural cover. And it does appear that their cover is blown. 42% chalked on to one of those players there. Explosive goo guns off to the side. Shockwave grenades here. Jimmy's just going to use this mushroom for cover at the moment. Hope that that team kind of forgets about them. 26 players now. Jimmy's rotating around the backside of this, still using the mushrooms for cover. That opposing team gonna have to break down all the mushrooms. UJ knows that with fire hitting them here, they're gonna draw some unnecessary attention to themselves. UJ unfortunately couldn't take over that balloon fast enough. I imagine that was probably the popular rotation spot just there. Looks like the team is chug splashing inside that area right now, so the Jimmies might have an opportunity to move here if they want. Otherwise, they'll probably just sit underneath these mushrooms again. Jimmy's on the move now. Looks like they're going to rotate around the backside once again. See some nice movement options from Mr. Schmitty here. Using the tree for cover, so UJ... Pretty smart rotation strategy this game, I think. You know, rotating around the backside of the zone, really playing their life a little bit. Oh, but a team up to the north side here, right on top of this hill. Shockwave grenade comes out. Explosive goo gun's gonna apply a little bit of pressure. Baba Kanush rotating around the side here. Shield comes out. Oh, and a knock there by Schmitty. And unfortunately botches the shockwave grenade there. Not sure if that player is going to try to revive his teammate or not, but Jimmy is now with an opportunity to roll up the backside of this hill and catch that rotation coming in. There they are once again. Oh, Schmitty making a very aggressive play just now. Holding the side of the zone. Baba Kanush goes in. And drops down, but Baba Kanush picks off both of them. Oh, but he is very, very weak here. Not sure if he's going to be able to pick up Schmitty or not. He's going to try and stick this here. Not sure what the movement options look like for UJ, though. They're going to have to move very, very fast. 16 players remaining. Both players healing just a little bit. I think that they're going to be able to make it out. Schmitty down to 26 HP, 21, 16. Does manage to get just a little bit of extra healing. 11, 6, 1. Is going to drop here. Baba Kanush is the last saving grace. Can he make it out of the zone? I believe that he's going to have the ability to. It's just whether or not anyone's going to be gatekeeping them here. He's going to pull down. He's going to stick the res. 13 players remaining now. Jimmy's trying not to rotate too aggressively. Good engagement there. Going to pick up a pair of kills. Moving closely into the top 10 of this game here. Bush checking as usual. Both players regenerating some of that shield now too. Some very meaningful healing on both the Jimmies here. A couple of minis that Babacanush should be able to drop here. Looks like they're just holding space for the moment. Gonna make a very early rotation here. Try and rotate around the backside. See if they can pick off anyone on the tail end here. Team found just to the northeast. Babacanush taking that rock down. He's gonna roll towards his opponent, give himself a little bit of space. Schmitty actually, my mistake. Rotating around the backside. Explosive goo gun, probably a good tool to use here. Jimmies haven't checked their 6. Big tag there. Launchpad, however, a player getting just totally knocked there. 42 shield on that one. It looks like the Jimmies are going to prioritize pushing this team on their west side here. Player using that tree as cover. Jimmy's in a bit of an open area here. Babacanush is going to go down. 27 shield, and it's the same team that took them out last time. So Jimmy's unfortunate, but 3rd place finish. So great showing by the Jimmies there. They're going to get, I believe, 3 eliminations total. So 3 eliminations total and a 3rd place finish is going to make, is going to give the Jimmies their best placement of the day and some very, very decent points moving forward. We'll have an update for those points for you guys once we get started with competition next weekend. But thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you guys, and GG's to both Babacanush and Schmitty today on a job well done, and we'll be back here Saturday for some more Fortnite action. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time.